you put up a story, didn't you?
I think so.
You were like yes or no TikTok.
Ask people if they want to get into TikTok. I'm so on this wave. Like, if there's something that's gonna catch on, I want to be on it just because I want to be able.
What happened to that one thing that you had to like? There was so many people that could use it.
Oh, that stupid Russian thing.
Yeah, it was like so many people could use it, and then you had to start paying for it.
I gave my shit to Russia. I think it's working, right?
Talk.
Boop, 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 boop,
Yeah.
boop, 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 boop.
Yep, and it's going up. Oh, I can get in closer. What's that?
Maybe.
Hello.
Oh, you're the first bar. You good. Yeah, I gotta get some spit pads on this thing.
Yeah, I'm one. What's up?
Okay, I'm two.
Player one. Yeah. What's up?
Yeah, the Russian thing. I think it was called like Vero.
Some shit.
Vero.
A lot of people started to like add it. Like I saw it on Instagram and stuff. I mean, just the handful of people I follow.
It was definitely a Russian thing. Vero's apps a response to Russia controversy.
But then it was just like it just fell off. Like it just stopped.
It blew up. I don't have it on my phone anymore. But this TikTok thing's weird because, like, I got 550 views for just this.
550 views?
Yeah, just for me and my dog and I. And then I got like.
My best friend is not your best friend, okay?
It's so dumb making. But then I did show you this one. Super Riley. It's just that the whole time. And then, so the first one I put up was this one of Taylor and I.
That's so cool.
But it gets so many, like, it just gets a lot of attention. And it's like big in India right now.
You look like your dad. Oh my lord.
Don't say that. How dare you? But then some of them like don't get any, like some like this one apparently got like copyrighted. I don't know, that one didn't get any views. This one. Just me eating cake.
With your fingers?
Yeah. Well, it was ice cream cake, so it was solid.
Oh.
They thought it was weird. But like some of these girls, like they just get so many views, and you're like, you don't understand why. And I think it's just like the new Vine. What is the fuck is going on?
What is that? But it's also like
It's just new.
it's the same thing as Instagram, really.
Yeah.
Girl influencers get more looks than guys.
Yeah, you're right. And like, I mean, look at this shit. Like, Gary Vaynerchuk's getting like almost 1 million views on some of these things.
Because it's Gary V.
Yeah, he's been on this shit for a long time.
So like you got to think about it. It's like he knows what's up.
Oh yeah, this one got 4 million, 5 million.
Oh, him shopping at yard sales?
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course.
How much of that do you think was real?
I
Because
mean, it's shot from a distance, so it's all real.
Yeah, but you know they know him though, right?
Who doesn't know Gary? At this
you're
point,
right.
he's
You're right.
all over Instagram. He's all over everything.
You remember when Instagram first started?
No, but I knew he knew it was going to be bigger than whatever.
I remember the first time I ever heard Gary Vaynerchuk. I think I got him on YouTube. He was doing like the daily vlog thing, and I was so impressed by that because at the time I was doing like Call of Duty, and that shit was taking me. Actually, no, I was doing a lot of videos at that time. I could have uploaded like every day, but it was like 2013, 2000. It was early. We were in high school. What year did we graduate? 2014.
2014.
And so I think it was 2012. And then
So sophomore
year
before you made your change.
before I got unfat, and I was uploading like once every other day, but I was recording because it used to be I had the Hopog. So if you wanted to record, and this was before the Modern Warfares where they had like movie mode, theater mode.
Yeah.
So if you thought you were gonna have a good game, you had to hit record on the Hopog, and then it would record the screen.
Yeah.
So but by doing that, you almost jinx yourself out. So what I had to do was just hit the Hopog and have it go on, and like 2 hours into it, I would forget about it, and then I would start playing well. But I had it set up right here, like right where this gorilla was, these monkeys.
Yeah.
That's exactly where I was.
I remember.
Yeah, and I was on my laptop there, and then that hole over there, and then that that bed over there, I busted up a few times because of fucking Call of Duty. But I remember watching Gary Vaynerchuk. He was posting a video a fucking day, every day, like 2 times a day. And then
everybody starts just throwing out content left and right.
That's the secret, right? But nowadays it's almost like YouTube.
But now nobody wants to see that.
Nobody wants to see that, and it's not the same way, like, chronologically. Get that a little bit closer. Maybe it can just...
I was going to say, it was, like, right here.
There we go. Okay, that should be better. Yeah, like, same way that, Instagram was, like, the first social media to make that change, where you posted something. Because it used to be, I would know the time to post. I had an app called Prime, and it would tell me the best time for me to post relative to the people that follow me, relative to the average time that people look throughout the world.
Right.
And because it's chronologically. So if you could just get up there with, let's say, 20% of your Instagrammers or your followers are watching, you would be able to get a like of you. But now it's not chronologically anymore. Now it goes off like hashtags and who you follow, what kind of people you follow, how many people you follow. This is a bunch of bullshit, but YouTube did the same thing.
Yeah, the algorithms or whatever.
Yeah, they fucked it all up.
They did it because people were getting too much attention.
I think that's what it was. And I think you were taking advantage of the system. Because I think like Instagram and like Facebook and Twitter and YouTube, they didn't want to be responsible for like all these people becoming super famous. Even though I don't think they have a responsibility because it's just a platform. Like you don't have a responsibility if Trump gets on your news station and says something absolutely fucking retarded. You know?
Right.
You don't have an obligation to deal with that. But I think like when you had like Logan Paul like video dead people and shit like that, it's getting weird. Then you had like, remember Rebecca Black?
Yeah.
The Friday chick?
Yeah.
I mean, she was getting death threats.
Right.
For her videos. But I mean, everybody like Logan Paul, Jake Paul, Rebecca Black. I mean, so many people.
all them.
Yeah, they blew up. And who's that guy who did the? Is that who it was?
They wanted to fight him.
No.
I know like the YouTube boxing thing is a thing now.
Yeah, Logan Paul and KSI. Yeah, they're like opening. I think they're gonna be like the first card on somebody's.
That's
like, it's
wild.
It's fucking stupid.
But then again, esports is like could eventually go into the Olympics at some point. They were talking about it.
It's already on ESPN.
Right. They're thinking about putting it in the like Winter Olympics or some shit for Paris for like 2020 or something like that, or 2022. Whenever the next Olympic is, they're thinking about putting in national teams for.
What's the big game that everyone's playing?
It depends now. I mean, you got Apex Legends, you got Fortnite, you got obviously the Call of Duties and the Halos, but Call of Duty for MLG is pretty much the highest thing.
Yeah. No, have you played the new Call of Duty?
The new one, Black Ops 4?
Or that doesn't come out till November?
Are you talking about Modern Warfare? The one that's getting ready to come out in like October.
Yeah, that one.
Not yet.
That hasn't released yet.
I might get. I don't know, man. I stopped playing video games.
Yeah, I got a PS4 right over there and a PS3.
I know the beta's up right now for PS4.
I'm thinking about getting back on that, but I know
I don't have time.
It wouldn't be good either because I would make time and then I would drop out of school again and drop out of shit. Well, you brought me over this book that I gave you, the Lewis Howes Mask of Masculinity book, and you were reading it. Can they see that?
I don't know if they can see it or not. Let's find out.
Go left. Boom. Cover up my chimps. So I gave you that book, and it was one of my favorite books. Once you finish that one,
it was
read it chronologically.
It was one of the books that you tried to get me to read for about a year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah, like when I finished, I was like, "Here you go."
That I refused to open up.
Yeah. How do you like it? First of all, what is it, and who is he, and what is? It's an old book. I think it's like 2015, 2014.
Yeah. I don't remember when he did it.
2014, I think. 2017.
2017?
Yeah, it's not bad at all. I must have got it brand new, and they gave it to you. But it's got like different the chapter. So you can explain it. The Mask of Masculinity.
So basically, Lewis Howe was an ex NFL player.
Yeah, I think
he was a pro football player.
He was practice squad,
something like that.
But he was also like an Olympian athlete or some shit.
He was one of the few that could actually, that unlocked his full potential.
Yeah.
In sports, at least. And then he ended up becoming pretty much a life coach.
Yeah. Well, he's one of
Now-
the original podcast guys too.
I mean, he has his own podcast, which is kind of like Andy Frisella's, like self-help, everything. The book itself is basically talking about how every man wears a mask, what is it?
Figurative.
Imaginary mask,
figurative.
metaphorical.
Metaphorical.
There you go.
We're English majors. That was fucking good, dude.
I'm horrible in English.
That's what redneck education gets you, South River.
Yeah. So basically all these masks. So obviously for me, when I opened the book for the first time after certain events caused me to want to dabble into helping myself more. The first one for me clearly was going into the alpha mask and why I wanted to find out what the alpha mask was and because I knew I wore it. Yeah. And I wanted to see what it was actually about. Turns out, after reading the whole chapter of it, literally every insecurity that I have is surrounded by that mask.
Yeah, in the book, it breaks down. Let me see it. And it's one of my, I don't know if I've taught, I think I've mentioned it before on the podcast, but it's one of the books that I recommend. It's an easy read. It's not complicated. There's not a lot of, it is very straight to the point. It's very self-helpy, but it's also a book that I think all 100%.
Even women.
Women. I think women, I don't know.
Well,
you spend a lot, I think, go ahead.
It basically, so at the end of the chapter, it tells you how to help get rid of the mask, how to shed your skin, basically. And then it basically shows you what can come out of it, what things you can produce from not wearing the mask anymore. And it tells, like, it has like a men's thing, and it's like, here's some information on it, but there's also a women's thing, so the women can read it, and then it's just like, it helps. It's to be able to help your man or somebody that help them shed their mask.
Yeah, I think there's all relationships they got to be mutual, so they got to be a give and take relationship. And I think I know a lot with women. Most girls I've ever known, if not all of them, a lot of the time they spend a lot of time saying, "I don't understand you," and a guy said the same thing about women. But I think the big fucking issue is that dudes don't understand themselves either. We don't have. I don't know. This is just fucking me talking, but there's no men checking us. And there's also not many places where men can just talk freely to each other where there's actually constructive feedback. Like if there's like a woman, like if I have one of my friends, she has a terrible breakup, all her girls will come around and they will talk to her and like build her up and give her advice. Most dudes won't do that.
No, they'll tell you to go out and get laid.
You go out and get laid, drink about it, forget about it.
Man up.
Mask things. Man up. Yeah, man up.
Talk about your feelings. You're a pussy.
Yeah, like walk it off. And also like, oh, there's gonna be many more. But that's what I think. That's why I like this book so much, because it gives you what you've always wanted, but you never knew you wanted. Like it gives you just that, and that's why it's so hard to start reading, because you don't want to admit that these masks do exist. And basically, what the mask is things that you take about your personality and you harden it up, or it's just a characteristic at first. It's like a personality trait. But then people and events that you put yourself in, things that you don't do, things that you only do, they mold into, that's more than just a personality. That is who you are.
Yeah.
Like if you start making money and everything else starts falling apart, but you keep on having a steady income, you may end up, once just being a person who did well financially, you become only that. And then
that's all you are.
That's all you are. You're just money. You're just making money,
but you don't have any relationships. You don't have any.
You don't value anything, because the top of your hierarchy is
their money,
finances. So then everything else falls apart, and it doesn't matter. Like you can say, well, I value this almost as much. Well, it doesn't matter. Like once you put anything that you can never achieve Like you can never achieve a happy life when you're always just making jokes all the time. Like I'm like when I read this, The Mask of
The Joker.
The Joker. I think I've been telling people the comedian because I've recommended this book to a lot of people.
Vice versa.
Yeah, same thing. And I remember being overweight, and I wasn't overweight for that long, but when I was, it did impact me, and I did feel it. But I remember always having to make jokes about myself before anybody else could make a joke about myself, and I would always try my hardest to be the funniest person in the room, because if I could do that, then nobody else had ammunition.
Well, if you're making fun of yourself, what's the point of them making fun of you?
Exactly. And if you do, there's no effect on me.
Right.
There's no effect on me. So that's one of the masks. And you said you related to the alpha mask, obviously, which is
super alpha mask.
Yeah. And there's a reason why it's the last one of it, because I think
it's the shortest one too, but it's straight to the point. You get right into the whole alpha everything about how it's not right to talk about feelings, and the alpha mask holds every insecurity about you and why,
Yeah, once you feel yourself,
pretty much if you feel like somebody's better looking than you or whatever, fitter than you. I mean, if you're like me, I mean, I pick myself apart repeatedly.
Yeah.
I've been told, oh, you look fine or whatever. Still pick myself apart.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. It's not I'm not looking at myself as a whole. I'm looking at, oh, this could be better. And this can be better. So the insecurities are hidden behind the alpha mask, because if nothing bothers me and you if it looks like nothing's bothering me and you're trying to judge me, I look like an asshole.
Yeah.
Usually, like, I've been told that you look like a dick.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why some people don't talk to me. That's why I don't have I'm not approachable. Some people have told me I'm not approachable.
Yeah. Yeah. If I didn't know you, I wouldn't approach you.
I have a blank look on my face usually all the time, but sometimes I'll smile. But like some people take it as like, what is he thinking?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I mean, you look pissed most of the time.
Yeah. I mean, but the resting bitch face runs in my family.
Well, yeah. But then again, I think.
But nobody knows that.
Yeah. Nobody knows that. Yeah. And I know.
I remember going into my job and like, when I went in for my interview, like the guys that left before me, they were like, "This dude's a douche. Like he looks like an asshole." And
talking about you?
Yeah. Like my boss told me that. He's like, "Yeah, the guys literally, like, without even really meeting you, they shook your hand one time and they told me not to hire you, so I hired you." And
that's logic. It makes sense.
So, and it's funny because then like they got to know me and they're like, "You're pretty fucking cool."
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I mean,
but that's the whole goal of the alpha, is to put the wall up so high and so aggressive.
It makes other people insecure, and it makes people like kind of fear you.
Yeah, so every relationship you get into, you have the upper hand.
Yep.
I mean, every single relationship you get into, you never give up that. Is that you or me?
That was me. That was my bad. No, you're good. I didn't silent my phone.
You never get into a relationship where you're not second place, or you're not the one looking for something. Because if you're always walking around with like even the stoic, the mask, the stoic mask is something that I find very
It might be. I'm probably stoic as well.
Well, our dumbasses don't even know what stoicism means.
Right.
The first
bold.
Yeah.
Talks about
being a hero.
When you want to be a hero.
Yeah, you don't like the role of you don't like this role of bird with broken wings, especially since that's exactly how you feel. You don't feel it, yeah. So you're to me that sounds like you are emotionally broken in some way, and you make up for that by
trying to
helping others and acting like nothing is
wrong
going
with you.
Nothing. Yeah, and it's not. He's trying to break that down in alpha. The alpha is like, it's you versus me, bitch. If you look at me,
right.
But stoic is like, you can look at me all you want. I'm not gonna fight you, but you don't mean shit to me. My girlfriend, she doesn't mean shit to me.
You don't care about anything.
I don't care about anything, and and as you read this. I mean, I hope you read it top and bottom, but as you read it, they all just, I mean, you catch yourself going, oh, that's me. Oh, that's me here. Oh, that's me there. And it's so important because there's always like a cut and paste way to help yourself grow, and we treat it like there's a beginning and there's an end and there's a start and there's a finish, but there's never a start and a finish. You gotta. This is why I like this book so much, because it's one of the first books that helped me. It's like the launching pad, and because it forces you to really dive deep on things that A, you didn't even know, B, if you didn't know, no one's going to tell you about it, or if there was a possibility of you knowing, no one's going to tell you, because it's kind of the issue is that if you are an alpha, or you try to act alpha, people may know, but they don't want to talk to you about it.
Right, and you won't. I mean, the whole goal of the alpha is like, what? You don't get challenged.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Nobody challenges me at work.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whatever I say kind of goes. I mean, as much as that sounds like a dick thing, but my boss has told me that, like, I'm the leader of my group. I do something, they follow suit. If I don't do anything, they don't do anything.
Yeah.
So, I guess I'm a work alpha.
Yeah.
And in my boss's eyes, at least.
Yeah.
But at the same time with that, like, the stoic mask is definitely me. And if you know me, I wear my heart and I wear all my feelings and everything on my sleeve. And I'm such an emotional person, but I still will hide them. Even though people that are close to me know how emotional I am and how much I care about certain things, I still won't show them, even to those people. Mm-hmm. Even if you know, like, you know me.
Yeah.
I am full of emotions right now. And these people that are watching probably have no idea.
Yeah.
Because you'll never see it on my face.
Yeah.
Because the only time you see it on my face is when I'm alone.
Mm-hmm. And that's scary too, being alone.
Yeah. I mean, going through a lot, and it sucks, but you grow from it.
Yeah. Well, you can't go backwards any farther.
You can only go forward.
You can only go, and I think these moments are the most important. These are the most important moments where everything just seems like it's crumbling and everything's falling apart, and nobody seems to be giving you advice that's actually helping. Nobody seems to really.
I don't want to hear it.
You don't want to hear it, and you're not gonna hear it, but you're gonna remember it all. In a year.
You remember all the talks and everything people have with you.
Yeah, and I think
unless you're just really ignorant and don't listen.
Yeah, and there's definitely people like that.
Yeah,
we all know people like that, and we all know that they're not happy. Because it takes a lot. It takes a lot of fucking. I knew that was gonna happen. She's losing her mind.
I don't know what. I didn't even hear anything.
See if I can adjust that real quick. She does. When my dad was on, my fucking mom was over there like screaming to Jen on the phone. It was driving me crazy.
That's wild.
Just an intermission. Not really. It's gonna keep going. Hold up. Wait a minute. Dude, check out the list I have here. Tell me if you want to cover any of those. And then I put a few on there that
are pertain to me.
I think so. Well, actually, the tops. I think all of them are.
Right.
Yeah. Wait. Fine. How do you see it? Yeah, and some of them were like just like I guess like childhood memories and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, we can cover any of those if you want.
Yeah, like I want to ask you a question. I want to ask you a question that I've always been interested in your response, because I don't know if your family has a long history in this, but you ever since I've known you, you have grunt style right now. You've always had like this like pull towards the military,
mm-hmm.
and I've always been curious like where that stems from. So I know because I think for a lot of dudes it's there. For me, I've never had that drive to be in the military, and I think a lot of that has to do with because my parents are cops.
Yeah.
And that's as close you get to the military before the military.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I was like, I guess just watching them, they just it didn't have that like oh my appearance to it.
Yeah.
Because I have uncles and cousins in the military. But I've always wondered why you've always had this fascination or this almost like I've thought a few times you were just gonna enroll.
Yeah. No, I always, as a kid, I was always into like the military movies. I was, always grew up listening to stories about my grandfathers and all them being in the war and everything.
What wars were they in?
The
Korean,
Vietnam, and Korean conflict. It's not war, technically.
Yeah, people died. That's a war.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is. Either way you suit it. I don't know. Something about it has drawn me to it, and it's never gone away. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I've always wanted to join. I thought I was going to. I was always heavy, obviously, and I didn't make the change until recently, but technically I'm still too heavy.
Yeah.
So,
me too.
Maybe it's not for me, but then growing up, I was learning about it, and thinking about it more as I got older. Mm-hmm. I was like, I can't really just up and go. I can't just leave my family. I'll freak out.
Yeah. So
for me, it was just like, it was just a fantasy at some point. But then, I wear the grunt style stuff. It's American made, veteran owned, veteran operated. So it's like, I support it. I support the military. So, and the clothes are comfy for me. But I've always been attached to it. I enjoy going shooting and stuff when I get the chance with friends that have been military or trained and whatnot. So, I've always just had a little something in me has always just been pulled towards it. It interests me. I enjoy, the documentaries and, the shows that involve war and stuff. I don't know. It's just.
I've never seen. Are any of your grandfathers still alive?
No.
They both passed away. Were they
all of them
passed away when you were young? Did you ever meet them?
I never met my dad's dad. I never met my mom's dad. I met my mom's stepdad.
Your mom's stepdad. He was in the war.
Yeah, he was.
He was in the war?
Yeah.
How old was he when he passed away?
Don't remember. I was 8.
You were 8 years old. Do you remember anything from him?
I remember one day we were sitting around the table. They were all playing cards all night, and I remember him telling a story because I didn't know he actually had bad hearing in his left ear. He was in the shower during one of the wars, and a grenade blew up the shower house. He was taking a shower in, and he pretty much almost went deaf. Oh. And I'll never forget that story because I don't know. It's the little things, but it's enough. I don't know, something it feels good when I start looking at war stuff. It's something I've always been drawn to. Any history of war, I don't know what it stems from. Yeah. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
Because it's not like I'm close to it.
A little bit closer to the mic. Is that better?
Better?
Yeah, it's not like you're close to it. Well, it's it's the same thing with your grandpa talking about the shower incidents, that intensity. You cannot.
Maybe it's.
You've always been intense with everything you've done. Even the times where you do get angry, it's what the fuck? Where did that volcano come from?
And that's another thing. It builds up, and then if I pop off, it's bad.
Yeah.
So I try to keep myself down. And I think that's what lifting has done for me.
Yeah. What has lifting done for you? Overall, do you think?
It's an outlet.
What the fuck would you have been doing, Charles Goodman? What would you have been doing if it wasn't for weightlifting?
If it wasn't for weightlifting, I don't know what I would do to release my pent up stress and anger and stuff to just blow off steam. Mm-hmm. I thought about starting to fight.
Like UFC?
Yeah. I know somebody that trains. He said he would train me, and he's got his own gym and everything, but it's just I feel like this is just a bad hobby to pick up.
You could
just to get beat up on.
Yeah, but you might need to get beat up on, though.
It would probably knock me down a few pegs.
I always thought that'd be cool to just go in there and get the shit beat out of you by 130-pound chick. just tatted
Right.
out with fucking cornrows.
Nah.
You go in there, stand up, and she just fucking slide kicks you and drops you.
Right.
I was that'd be cool.
I mean, it would be humbling, definitely. I just I don't weightlifting's always just been a very therapeutic thing for me. I'm if I'm mad, I mean, you can definitely tell how I'm feeling depending on what I do during that day.
It's definitely it's fucking. I get this goddamn fucking. Yeah, no, it's you. I can whenever we're like working out, and you walk in the gym, like, oh fuck, this is what we're dealing with today. And some days you walk in, like, oh fuck, this is what we're dealing with today. Like, I got to keep up today, or then some days it's like, oh, you got to keep up.
Yeah.
When did you start lifting weights? Was it like
In school.
It was early in high school, junior year, and you just
took off with it.
You just took off with it.
It helped, and it was.
Why don't you power lift? Why don't you fucking compete in anything?
I'm too scared of failing.
But
myself.
Yeah, but you could. I mean, dude, you've never even done a powerlifting program, right?
No, I've thought about it, but I'm always, I'm heavy. Like I'm 255, so like I'm already heavy, and like the powerlifting programs and stuff, they're gonna make me eat more. I know. I just don't want to be big. I want to.
Fuck! Don't follow the food, then just follow the lifting.
Yeah,
I can make you something. I'm following one right now that's not really power; it's more athletic, but it's got low intensity.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've been doing a lot of more heavy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
As far as deadlift and bench, or deadlift and back squat. I don't bench that much.
Yeah, dude, you could easily. I think you could pull. I mean,
we'll find out how much I can pull on October 5th.
Yeah, and I don't know if there's gonna be like, I don't know if you could pull state records, but I mean you could pull.
I mean, with a little bit of training.
That's what I'm saying. All you gotta do is do a 6-month, 5x5, 3 times a week. Increase by 2% every 3 weeks. So that's 12 times increasing. Do that for 6 months. You could easily put on 40 pounds on your squat, right? 80 pounds on your deadlift. And then your bench.
Oh, that's not even considering, sleeves and all that. I mean, the leg sleeves are shown to increase it by 50 pounds just for the sleeves.
Yeah, the knee sleeves are, and you can use those in regular federated.
Yeah, so it's like I already put up 455. If I put the sleeves on, I can possibly break 500
on the
back squat.
I think so.
Right.
I think so. I also don't. I think even when you push yourself really hard and you go for like 2 reps, you still move very quick. I've never seen you fail before.
I've never failed. The only time I failed was
I've never seen you fail on a squat.
You've never seen me fail? I've failed twice in my life on squat.
Deadlift,
I've never failed.
Never failed.
Pushing up, I got up to 485. It took me like 30 seconds to get it up, but I got it up.
Yeah, I think,
and that's without wraps or a belt. That was raw.
Or training, really.
Yeah, just
whatever, going for 1 rep every class.
Whatever class said, just do it.
Yeah, you could. I think you could easily pull 500 now.
Yeah, I probably could.
I
just think I'm scared.
Yeah,
I'm scared of the failure.
Are you scared of failing? Or are you scared of seeing how much potential you could have? And
I think I'm more scared of failing.
More scared of failing.
Yeah, I've always had a fear of failing.
And is that because of what other people think, or is that just because that's
I don't want
another thing you failed yourself on?
I think it's more of me. I don't like failing myself. Like I'll set myself up to like, this is gonna happen. I'm gonna do it, and if it doesn't happen, I'm gonna be like, what the fuck did you do?
Yeah,
you set yourself up for failure by doing that.
Yeah, it's got its good and its bads, but that's But I think I think the closest you've ever been to maxing out is probably 85%. I mean, besides that deadlift pull, but other than that, I think your squat could easily be at 500.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can.
Your deadlift 500 easily. I think so.
Yeah.
I think your bench.
My bench suffers because it's my upper body. I've never really cared for my upper body.
Yeah, and that's a good thing in the sense that there's a lot of growth.
Oh yeah, and I've been trying to kind of stay heavy with it.
Mm-hmm.
Do more flat, like just everything. Just hit everything on the chest. But it's definitely one of the things that I've neglected just because I knew how powerful my legs were when I started lifting. So I just took it and ran with it because it was an ego stroke in high school.
Yeah. And now it's like that's what you build up the most, and you don't want to probably have to go back and start back to the drawing boards, and you got that already set for you.
Yeah. So it's like, for me, the legs and everything, legs, back, it was kind of set in stone. Like, I was going to have the heaviest. And that, it made me happy because it was like, oh, everybody's done working out. And, like, I'm still finishing my warm-ups. I'm still getting ready to hit my last set. And, top set of one rep and wrap, as many as you can do. Go. And everybody sat around and watched because that was the thing to do at the end of class because I was still the last one lifting.
Yeah.
So it was just an ego stroke. And I'm pretty sure it started with, since I saw the ego stroke, I just kept going with it because it was just stroking my ego. So it just became ego fueled. But after we left school, it's when I stopped going because it wasn't the same.
Yeah, and you probably never correlated so much with like something that you love doing. I mean, if the crowd's not there, it's a lot harder to push as much weight as you were pushing.
Oh yeah, it's a little different when you got everybody behind you like screaming.
Yeah, then when you just have me in the weight room and everyone else is just doing their own
nobody
thing.
else cares.
No, well, nobody's ever cared. I mean, that's not. I mean, in high school people did care, but it was more or less like, this is a class and this is what we're watching.
Right.
And that's what's so crazy about powerlifting. That's why when you look at like the best powerlifters in the world, like Ed Cohen and Mark Bell, and I mean anybody and everybody who's like an elite powerlifter, it's like they all come from dark places where nobody ever paid attention to them. And that's why they got into powerlifting, because it was a place where there was like a brotherhood, but it was enough of balance where it was a brotherhood. But when it was you with the weight on your back or in your hands or above your chest, there was no brotherhood. It was just you in the area where you're used to.
Yeah.
That dark, aggressive, dirty, just violent mindset. Just you in the weight. I mean, Joe Rogan said it best. He's like, when I lift or when I run, like he's like, I think of people like killing my family.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And that's what it is. That's why, and I think that's, I think all men should be doing something that excretes a certain level of intense pressure in their body.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care. I don't want it to be built up and then Friday night comes by and you see some dude looking at you and you beat the shit out of them while you're, you know what I mean? And that's not what you want. You want some form of weightlifting. You want some form of UFC fighting. You want some form of something that allows you to just be a dude, and also that, and for girls out there too, like that's what you want. Like you don't want a dude who just is with you all the time. Like you want a man who is out there doing aggressive things and hiking, just doing things that are not dangerous per se, but do get your testosterone. Yeah, your testosterone up, your adrenaline. Makes things easier for everybody.
Right.
When you have a really good workout, you get home, you're like, oh my God, I'm fucking exhausted. And you're probably more agreeable, so someone could take advantage of you. But no, you're just more agreeable. You're easier to talk to. You're not out there trying to get one over on somebody.
Unless your workout sucked.
Unless your workout sucks. But in the same thing, like you shouldn't be taking that home either.
Yeah.
But yeah, if your workout sucks, but also if your workout sucks and you're taking that home, then you have a priority issue. We need to get that figured out. Like I had a bad workout today, and then I went home, whatever. I read a book, but you're right. But it's like, I don't think people realize how much the gym is not just a flexing ego, look at me place. It's a challenge, and it's a challenge where, especially in this world that we currently live in, this climate, it's so hard to be a dude and climb up the ladders because people don't like that. People don't like that intense competition. And that's why the gym is so beautiful, because when you're under a certain amount of weight, when you're pushing a certain amount of weight, when you're on a program, and you wake up on Saturday morning and Friday night you were out partying.
You don't want to go.
You're 3x3 on a deadlift and you feel like you're gonna throw up. It's like, okay, you can't do it, but not because you can't do it, because you failed yourself.
Yeah.
So it teaches you self-responsibility. It teaches you how to be disciplined, how to clean your shit up, and how to call yourself out on it. If you can't pull 405 pounds, but you did it last week, then whose fault is that?
Yeah, you're going backwards.
You're going backwards, and you failed yourself, and you're gonna keep failing at everything you do. I like the philosophy where Mike Rashid said it. It's like the hardest thing you do all day is the gym. It's gonna drain you, and everything else is gonna be easier. You know when you go to like a concert, it's just so fucking loud once you walk in.
Yeah.
But then towards the end of it, it's not as loud, and then you get in the car and then you're yelling. And you're like, why the fuck am I yelling? Well, it's because you drain, like everything around you just got quieter.
Yeah.
And that's how you feel after a hard workout. Everything is just so much more manageable.
Yep.
Yeah, fucking love that. That's why I go to the gym, and it's something that I can always work on. It's 100% me. Nobody else has influence on it. I do it for me. Yeah, that's why I've always been fascinated with you and your gym experience, because it's always been so intense, and it's always been, when you're going, you're going. When you're not going, you're not going.
Yeah.
And there's never been anything in between. It's always been power. You've always done something with SDL. It's always been a squat. It's always been deadlift. It's always been a bench. It's always been, or SDB. It's always been some type of heavy fucking movement.
Mm-hmm. Especially if I'm having a bad day.
Yeah, and I think a lot of dudes.
Bad time.
Bad time. I think a lot of dudes can relate to that. I think a lot of dudes and women, like Taylor's been on a powerlifting program, and she's getting strong as fuck, but also she's just a happier person.
Yeah,
because it's a check mark every day. Like, if you wake up every day and you're guaranteed to get a W, you're guaranteed to win something, and your life sucks so much. You hate your job, you hate your kids, your wife looks like butt shit, and she's a fucking asshole to you. She wasn't like that, 10 years ago. Your kid fucking hates you. Your boss is up your asshole all day. But if you can wake up every single day and you're guaranteed to get that one win, it gives you something
to
look forward to.
Yeah.
And I don't get it. Like, when people say they can't find time for the gym, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Oh, but you can find time for a heart attack in 20 years when you didn't go to the gym.
I had trouble finding time for the gym because I was just so tired. I just said I need to start taking care of myself again.
You were adjusting, right? You were adjusting. Now you found time to go to the gym.
Yeah.
And you know that feeling of when you do go to the gym and you feel fucking good.
I mean, I go in tired, and the 700 milligrams of caffeine I take, and
that's not good for you.
The nitric oxide kicks in, and
yeah.
Everything's pretty good. I ride that wave. I mean, I got about a good 45 minutes in me before I'm done, completely drained.
Yeah, and even if you just get in there and do cardio or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Did you watch any football this past weekend? Have you been watching football?
I have not.
Have you been watching the Ravens at all?
I've been following them.
Apparently, you guys have a fucking stud for a quarterback, Lamar Jackson. Apparently, he's killing it.
Yeah, he's shocked everybody. He can throw the ball now.
Yeah, and he can run.
And it's dangerous for him.
He's young as hell. How old is he? 20?
22.
22?
I think.
That's old. He's younger.
He was 21 when he started. So, yeah, I think he just turned 22. He turned 22 the day after the first playoff game. So, he was like the youngest quarterback.
Who's your running back? Do you even know?
We got a lot. We got 4.
Who's like your number one? Do you guys have a number one?
What's his name?
I don't know.
Ingram.
Mark
the
Ingram?
Saints. Yeah.
Dude with the fucking, he's at no neck.
Yeah.
Dude's jacked.
Yeah. From the Saints.
Who's your wide receiver? You still have that guy from...
We got Marquise Brown.
Marquise Brown.
We lost a lot of people. We still got Willie Snead.
How do you feel about the Antonio Brown thing?
Honestly...
Like, be honest. How do you feel?
I don't know what he's doing. Like, he likes playing the sport, right?
Uh-huh.
So fucking just play the sport. That's why you're doing it. Unless you're just doing it for the money, because obviously you made it about the money at that point, because he wasn't going to play without his fucking helmet.
Now, what if, like, from the beginning, he wanted to play with Tom Brady? You know, it's kind of strange that homeboy just got surgery on his shoulder, Ben Roethlisberger. He's out for the rest of the year now.
Might be done. He might
be done forever. This might be the end of the Steelers. Era. Exactly. That's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm alluding to. What if it's a conspiracy theory where Antonio Brown saw that shoulder and Ben Roethlisberger after a few games like, dude, I don't know how much longer I got. You know how guys, how they say shit. Not everything's
makes
in
you
the
think
camera.
about your future.
Yeah, you're like, fuck. And Antonio Brown's like, fuck, what does that mean for me? Because he's at the top of his game. Ben Roethlisberger's not at the top of his. I mean, let's face it. Ben Roethlisberger knows how to win, but he's not pretty when he does it.
Right.
And he gets fucking hit very hard. And he doesn't help himself when he weighs 300 pounds laying on his shoulder from a 400-pound dude. You have almost like fucking half a ton crushing your collarbone. And it's like, well, what if like Antonio Brown after one game, Ben was like, dude, I don't know how much longer I fucking got. And Antonio Brown was like, oh, fuck that. Fucking stupid white boy. And then he spends all offseason because he still needs to make that money. I mean, he makes plenty of money. But then he like goes to the Raiders and, he never seemed, he's like, yeah, fuck the, whatever, cool Raiders. But then he ends up leaving the Raiders. And then Tom Brady picks him up. Patriots pick him up. Now he's playing against, now he's in the,
he's in the AFC.
But aren't you guys in the same division as the Patriots?
No. They're AFC
they got
North.
They got the Browns. No, you had the Browns and Bengals.
Browns, Bengals, and Steelers.
The Patriots have
the Bills. they're
the
divisions.
Jets.
Yeah, like their divisions.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I've been watching this whole like Antonio Brown saga going on, and it's like it's so interesting because he's like, yeah, he's the best player in the NFL. And he's out there just fucking acting wild, but he's getting all these new contracts and he's playing for all these fucking teams, and Big Ben's now out, and now the Steelers are falling apart. The Steelers literally within the past year have lost Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown, Ben Roethlisberger. I think Mike Pouncey's out too, the center.
Yeah, like it's not just them though. That's the thing. The entire NFL is flipped upside down right now.
Do you watch it?
I've been watching highlights. I haven't had made time to sit down and watch it.
Yeah, you used to, right? I used to make time for that.
Yeah, I used to like, oh yeah, football's on. We're going to watch football, and now it's just like, oh, football's on.
Why is that? Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I guess for me, I'd rather just do something else.
Yeah, it's just not
fun.
Go
hang out with people.
I got pissed off at the NFL once. I was watching it and I saw like an ad pop up, and it wasn't even commercial break. It's like the middle of the huddle, and like an ad popped up in the bottom right corner. I was like, nope, fuck this. I'm not just a stupid billboard for you guys.
Yeah.
I got sick and tired of that. So we're about 45 minutes into it. Is there anything else you wanted to cover at all? Anything you want to talk about?
No, I think we hit it.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. Episode 25? I think it's episode 25, guys. Thank you so much for watching on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, comment. Audio, please leave rating. Written rating and on stars too. If you guys like it, leave 5 stars. If you fucking hate it, leave me 1 star. Let me know why you hated it, and hopefully I can fix it. I'll catch you guys in episode 16. I will be having one of my ex-coworkers, Steven, on. I will be having my video podcast dude on Bluetooth, and I will be having my cousin Daniel on, which should be a fucking...
that'll be good.
It should be a shit show. I'm going to have my sister on. I'm going to have my girlfriend on. Probably going to have both of them on together at the same time. And then I'm thinking about having Charles back on with David, one of my friends, childhood friend. So, and also this is a guy I go to the gym with who's like a military veteran dude I might be having on. And he knows a lot about military dogs, which would be kind of cool to talk about. Yeah, guys, thanks so much for listening. Have yourself a beautiful day. Thank you for the continued success on the podcast. Peace. Oh, man.